In a year already packed with unbelievable drama, the last thing anyone expected was for ASAP Rocky to find himself at the center of yet another scandal. But here we are, and this time, the rumors are even messier. Whispers are spreading like wildfire across the internet, claiming not only did Rocky allegedly cheat on Rihanna, but the woman he cheated with is rumored to be pregnant. If true, this could be the ultimate betrayal, and the internet is already treating him like public enemy number one. Fans have long worshipped Rihanna, not just for her music and beauty, but for her resilience and power. Cheating on her? That's a crime in the court of public opinion. The timing couldn't possibly be worse either, with reports swirling that Rihanna herself is expecting their third child. It's a scandal with too many moving pieces and too many emotions running high. This isn't even the first time Rocky's loyalty has been questioned, but the stakes feel a lot higher now. Every rumor, every suspicious glance, every cryptic Instagram post, it all points to a relationship that might be on the verge of collapse. And fans, they're not just speculating anymore. They're demanding answers. The internet doesn't forget, and it definitely doesn't forgive easily, especially when it comes to someone like Rihanna. As the layers peel back on this explosive situation, the real question becomes, is this the final straw that tears them apart for good? But before we jump to conclusions, let's break down everything that's happened. And trust me, the deeper you go, the messier it gets. It all started with a live stream that nobody thought would cause any real damage. Popular streamer Kenel Joseph was casually chatting with an OnlyFans model when the conversation took a sudden turn. He asked her a seemingly harmless question: who's the most famous person she's ever been with? She laughed nervously, asked him to mute the audio, but the internet wasn't fooled. Lip readers quickly caught what looked a lot like her saying the name ASAP Rocky. Within minutes, clips of the moment went viral. Fans flooded the comments section, piecing together what they thought was an obvious confession. The model panicked, backtracking faster than you could blink. She insisted she wasn't talking about Rocky, but anyone watching the stream could tell from the awkward energy and Kenel's side-eye that something didn't add up. Instead of letting it die down, the internet detectives went to work. They found her social media profiles, her OnlyFans page, and every online footprint she had. What followed was a barrage of backlash, forcing the model to come out swinging in her own defense. She denied everything, calling the allegations clickbait and insisting she barely knew who Rocky was. In a series of desperate posts, she claimed that if anyone believed Rocky would cheat on Rihanna with someone like her, they needed to go touch grass. She even blamed the moment on being wine drunk during the stream, begging people to stop twisting her words. But the damage had already been done, and the internet rarely grants second chances. As her denials grew louder, so did the public's suspicion. It wasn't just the rumor itself that set off alarms, it was how badly and awkwardly she tried to cover it up. And in the court of public opinion, messy denials are almost always seen as confessions. As the scandal with the OnlyFans model raged on, fans noticed something even more intriguing happening behind the scenes. During Rocky's recent court appearances, Rihanna had been sporting oversized coats, massive jackets, and strategically placed purses. To some, it seemed like she was just making a fashion statement, but others weren't so sure. It didn't take long for rumors of a third pregnancy to start swirling. Sharp-eyed fans pointed out subtle hints, a courtroom exchange where Rocky and Rihanna reportedly joked with a lawyer about naming their next baby, a nostalgic Instagram post of Rocky holding a child captioned "Number 3 soon," and her carefully chosen wardrobe choices. To those paying attention, the signs were clear. Rihanna has been very open about her desire to have a big family. In interviews, she's talked about wanting more than 2 kids, dreaming of a daughter, but being happy no matter what. With all that in mind, the pregnancy theory made too much sense to ignore. And if true, it made the cheating rumors all the more devastating. For many fans, the thought of Rihanna quietly enduring such betrayal while carrying Rocky's third child was heartbreaking. The timing of it all, the court drama, the pregnancy clues, the cheating whispers, painted a picture of a woman fighting private battles with her usual grace and silence. In the face of so much chaos, Rihanna's refusal to publicly address the rumors only fueled the mystery. Was she protecting her peace or silently preparing for a life-changing decision? It's not like this is the first time ASAP Rocky's loyalty has been dragged into the spotlight. In fact, if you look back, there's a messy trail of allegations that stretches years before this OnlyFans model ever whispered his name. Earlier this year, rapper Summer Bunny claimed that Rocky had been creeping behind Rihanna's back, and she wasn't shy about it either. The accusation was loud, public, and messy enough to leave fans wondering if there was more smoke than anyone wanted to admit, but it didn't stop there. Around the same time, rumors began swirling that Rocky had allegedly been involved with rapper Asian Doll too. Although Asian Doll tried to laugh it off, insiders hinted there was more truth to the whispers than she let on. Meanwhile, social media dug up old interactions, suspicious likes, and shady moments that fed into the narrative that Rocky wasn't exactly husband material behind the scenes. And who could forget the Amina Muaddi scandal? That one hit even harder, because Amina wasn't just some random celebrity. She was Rihanna's close friend and collaborator. Amina designed shoes for Fenty, Rihanna's own brand, and has been photographed laughing and posing with her countless times. So, when whispers surfaced that Amina and Rocky were getting a little too close for comfort, fans lost it. Even though Amina issued a public denial and begged people to stop spreading lies, the damage was already done. In the middle of all this chaos, Rocky and Rihanna jetted off to Barbados in what looked like a desperate attempt to reset everything. The two were photographed smiling, holding hands, and looking like the picture of relationship goals. For a brief moment, it felt like maybe, just maybe, they had survived the rumors. Maybe they were stronger than the noise. But the internet never forgets. And as each new allegation surfaced, the idea that Rocky was a repeat offender became harder and harder to ignore. Patterns don't lie, and neither do instincts. If the cheating allegations weren't enough to shake things up, Rocky's shocking arrest at LAX after returning from Barbados sent the drama into overdrive. The moment his plane touched down, authorities moved in and took him into custody. The arrest wasn't about cheating, though. It stemmed from an old case involving a gun incident with a former friend back in 2021. According to reports, Rocky had allegedly fired a gun during an argument, and while no one was killed, a bullet had reportedly grazed a man's hand. The case had been simmering quietly in the background for months, but when Rocky was arrested, it felt like all the skeletons he tried to hide were finally crashing through the closet doors at once. At the time, Rihanna stayed eerily silent. She didn't post anything cryptic on Instagram, didn't unfollow Rocky, didn't even release a statement through sources. To some, her silence spoke louder than any words. Was she standing by him, or quietly plotting her next move? Fans, on the other hand, weren't so forgiving. Twitter erupted with memes, outrage, and conspiracy theories about how Rihanna must be secretly planning an exit strategy. The timing of the arrest, right after a supposedly healing vacation, was just too messy to ignore. And it threw even more shade over Rocky's already tarnished reputation. The case eventually settled, and Rocky walked away without the kind of career-ending consequences many feared. But the public perception? That took a hit it still hasn't fully recovered from, because now, every scandal, every misstep, just made him look guiltier. As if things weren't already bad enough, a woman named Jilly O'Donnell stepped into the spotlight and unleashed a fresh storm. The 45-year-old mother of three alleged that she and Rocky had been flirting online for months, dating all the way back to 2021. According to her, it wasn't just casual small talk either. Their messages had quickly taken a flirtatious turn. What made the situation even messier was that Jilly claimed she had no idea who ASAP Rocky was at first. She said when he first slid into her DMs, she didn't recognize the name or realize he was Rihanna's man. To many, this excuse sounded shaky at best. After all, by 2021, Rocky was a major figure not just in music, but in global fashion and entertainment too. Jilly didn't just tell her story, she backed it up with alleged screenshots of their conversations. Messages that hinted at Rocky inviting her to meet him in Ukraine, venting about being fat from lack of gym time, and missing workouts together. It painted a messy, intimate picture that was hard to ignore, especially with Rihanna rumored to be pregnant during that same timeline. The bombshell revelation sent shockwaves through the fanbase. Even those who had defended Rocky before were now finding it harder to explain away the growing mountain of allegations. It wasn't just one rumor anymore, it was a pattern, stitched together by receipts, screenshots, and awkward timelines. And once again, Rihanna's silence on the matter only fueled the speculation. Was she quietly dealing with another betrayal behind closed doors? Or had she simply decided it wasn't worth her energy anymore? At first, some fans wanted to believe Jilly O'Donnell. Screenshots, dates, casual texts, it all looked convincing. But the deeper people dug, the shakier her story became. How could anyone in 2021 not know who ASAP Rocky was? Especially when his relationship with Rihanna was practically headline news across every platform imaginable. Skeptics pointed out that a quick Google search or even a glance at his verified Instagram account should have given it away. After all, Rocky wasn't some underground indie artist flying under the radar. He was front row at fashion shows, plastered across magazine covers, and attending every major event alongside Rihanna. Ignorance seemed like a hard sell. The questions about Jilly's motives also piled up. Was she clout chasing, trying to grab her 15 minutes of fame? Some fans argued that even if Rocky had crossed the line, Jilly's "I didn't know" defense made everything feel calculated and messy. Every time she doubled down on her innocence, it only made the internet side-eye her harder. Meanwhile, others shifted their focus back to Rocky. Regardless of Jilly's credibility, why was he sliding into random DMs while supposedly building a family with Rihanna? Whether the messages were harmless flirting or something worse, it still didn't look good. And for Rihanna fans, that was enough reason to be furious. The longer Jilly kept talking, the worse it got. Instead of clearing her name, she only stirred the pot further. And with every tweet, every post, she made it even harder for anyone to believe that nothing shady had happened behind the scenes. Just when the internet started catching its breath, another name popped into the scandal: rapper City. A blind item started circulating across gossip blogs, hinting that City and Rocky had gotten a little too close for comfort. This wasn't just a vague rumor either. Insiders alleged the situation was messy enough to cause serious tension behind the scenes. The blind item painted a chaotic picture of betrayal, jealousy, and late-night hookups. It hinted that while Rihanna was focused on building a family, Rocky was allegedly playing games with multiple women across Los Angeles. It wasn't just City either. Names like Quavo and even other rising stars were dragged into the narrative, creating a tangled web of accusations and side-eye. Fans were quick to react, calling the whole situation a hot mess and branding Rocky as someone who couldn't stay loyal no matter how good he had it. The more his name got tied to new women, the harder it became for people to give him the benefit of the doubt. Once might be a mistake, but multiple scandals? That's a pattern. And it wasn't just the fans turning. Some industry insiders also began to quietly distance themselves from Rocky. Gossip pages hinted that certain brands and collaborators were quietly pulling back, unwilling to risk being associated with someone constantly knee-deep in controversy, especially while linked to a global icon like Rihanna. At this point, it became less about individual accusations and more about the overall perception. Rocky wasn't just fighting rumors anymore, he was fighting a reputation that was spiraling out of control. In the whirlwind world of celebrity relationships, loyalty is currency. And right now, ASAP Rocky's account looks dangerously overdrawn. With each new scandal, denial, and messy "he said, she said," the gap between Rocky and Rihanna seems to be widening. Fans have drawn their battle lines, and most aren't standing behind Rocky anymore. Rihanna's silence throughout all of this has been deafening and strategic. She knows the power of staying quiet when the world is screaming for answers. Sometimes silence speaks louder than any public statement ever could. Whether she's planning her next move quietly or just refusing to entertain the circus remains a mystery. One thing is clear: the public's patience has worn thin. And while Rocky may think he's dodging bullets by laughing off rumors, the internet never forgets. Every new scandal piles onto the last, creating a mountain too big to ignore. And sooner or later, the weight of it could come crashing down on everything he's built. As for Rihanna, she's never needed anyone to define her. No matter what happens next, she'll come out stronger, smarter, and more iconic than ever. Because queens don't fall, they rise no matter who tries to drag them down.